Noise is usually a protective layer. In a social gathering, the overlapping sounds of voices, the clatter of cutlery, and the clinking of glass create a shield. As long as there is noise, there is safety. As long as people are talking, they do not have to think. Consider the setting. It is evening. A small group of 6, perhaps 7 people. They are seated in a comfortable arrangement. The lighting is warm. The table is cluttered with the remnants of a meal, half-empty wine glasses, crumpled napkins, plates smeared with sauce. 5 minutes ago, the decibel level was high. It was a chaotic texture of interruption and laughter. One person was telling a story, embellishing the details for effect. Another was laughing too loud, performing enjoyment rather than feeling it. There was a rhythm to it, a predictable exchange of social currency. And then the rhythm broke. It did not break because of a shout. It did not break because of a crash. It broke because of a sentence. One person, let us call him the speaker, said something. The speaker is usually the quietest person in the room. He is the one who nods. He is the one who fills the glasses. But this time he spoke. The sentence was short. It was delivered with a flat, level intonation. It was not a joke. It was not a question. It was a statement of fact that stripped the varnish off the reality of the room. The sentence hung in the air for a fraction of a second, like a physical object suspended by a wire. And then the wire snapped. No one spoke after that. Let us observe the anatomy of this specific silence. It is different from the silence of an empty room. This silence is active. It is heavy. It presses against the eardrums. The first thing to happen is the cessation of motion. To the right of the speaker, a woman was in the middle of lifting a fork to her mouth. Her hand freezes midair. The brain has sent a stop command so urgent that it overrides the motor function of eating. She holds the fork there for 3-4 seconds. Then slowly, realizing the absurdity of the pose, she lowers it. She does not place it on the plate. She places it on the tablecloth. Silent. Across the table, the host is the most visibly affected. The host's role is to maintain the flow, to keep the lubricant of conversation moving. But the host is paralyzed. You can see the struggle in the throat muscles. The host wants to cough, wants to say anyway, wants to offer more wine. But the air in the throat has solidified. The host looks at the centerpiece on the table, a vase of flowers. The host studies the flowers with the intensity of a bomb disposal expert, terrified that looking up will trigger an explosion. The soundscape of the room changes instantly. Without the masking noise of voices, the microscopic sounds become amplified. You can hear the hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen. It sounds like a roar. You can hear the ticking of a clock on the wall. Each second is a hammer strike. Tick, tick, tick. You can hear the sound of someone swallowing. It is a wet, uncomfortable sound that makes the person doing it blush. The eyes of the group begin a complex dance of avoidance. In a normal conversation, eye contact is a way to connect. Now eye contact is a threat. If 2 people lock eyes, they acknowledge the reality of what was just said. They acknowledge the disaster. So they look everywhere else. They look at their fingernails. They look at the ceiling. They look at the sediment at the bottom of their wine glasses. They are suddenly fascinated by the texture of the tablecloth. They are retreating into their own private worlds, building walls to protect themselves from the truth that is sitting in the center of the table. The speaker, the one who caused this, sits perfectly still. He does not retreat. He does not apologize. He does not try to qualify his statement with, "I was just joking." He simply sits. He picks up a napkin and folds it, corner to corner, precise, deliberate. He places the folded napkin next to his plate. This small movement is the only thing happening in the room. Minutes pass. The silence begins to rot. It turns from shock into something more corrosive. It becomes shame. The people in the room realize that they cannot go back. They cannot rewind the tape to 5 minutes ago. The version of the group that existed before the sentence is dead. The pretense is gone. Someone shifts in their chair. The leather creaks. It sounds like a gunshot. Everyone flinches. The person who shifted stops moving immediately, terrified of drawing attention. They freeze in an uncomfortable position, leg halfway crossed, muscle cramping, just to avoid making another sound. The air in the room feels temperature-controlled, yet sweat begins to appear on the forehead of the man sitting opposite the speaker. He wipes it away quickly, a jerky motion. He is afraid. He is afraid because the social contract has been violated. The rule that says we pretend everything is fine has been broken. Usually in moments like this, someone attempts a rescue. A brave soul who tries to change the subject. How is your work going? Or did you see the game, but not this time? The weight of the truth is too heavy. It crushes any attempt at small talk before it can be born. The words die in their throats. They realize that asking about work or whether now would be an act of insanity. It would be grotesque, so they remain silent. The dinner is effectively over, but no one knows how to leave. Leaving requires a ritual. It requires standing up, saying thank you, saying good night. But to speak those words would be to acknowledge that the night has ended in ruin. It would be to acknowledge the thing that happened. So they stay, trapped in the amber of the moment. They act out the pantomime of dining. They take small sips of water. They rearrange the cutlery. They wait for the speaker to release them. But the speaker is not a jailer. He is just a mirror, and they cannot look away from what they see. The tension rises to a peak. It becomes physical pain. A tightness in the chest, a ringing in the ears. Finally, the sound of a chair scraping against the floor. It is the speaker. He stands up. He does not rush. He buttons his jacket. He looks around the table, meeting the eyes of anyone brave enough to look up. Most are not. He nods once, a gesture that is neither friendly nor hostile. It is simply a punctuation mark. He turns and walks towards the door. His footsteps are rhythmic, consistent. Heel-toe, heel-toe. The door opens. The door closes. The latch clicks. The remaining 6 people are left alone. The source of the disruption is gone. Logic dictates that the tension should vanish. Logic dictates that the noise should return. That they should exhale, look at each other and say, "What was that?" But they do not. The silence remains. It has stained the furniture. It has seeped into the walls. They sit there, looking at the empty chair. They know that if they speak now, their voices will sound different. They know that they are no longer the same group of people. The host reaches for a bottle of wine. The hand trembles slightly. The glass neck of the bottle chatters against the rim of a glass. Clink, clink, clink. It is the only sound in the world. And still no one speaks.